Hello, everybody. Joe Fenn here with Reign FC forward Megan Rapinoe. Megan, big news coming out of the U.S. camp yesterday. Jill Ellis is now the head coach. What was your first reaction?
I think everybody's excited. Obviously we were all eagerly awaiting. The firing of Tom came kind of suddenly, and then it was, nobody really knew what was going on. So it's nice to have a head coach in charge of us. And Jill's been around the team, in and around the program really forever, and it gives a lot of, comfortability. And I think she sort of knows the ropes, and I think everybody's excited to work with her in a new capacity because we've been with her. We've all played against her. We've been on her youth teams. She's been assistant with us for a long time, but I think it'll be different now. She's the boss, and I'm excited to see her in that role and get to work under her.
Was that decision a surprise to you, or was that kind of what you expected?
It wasn't a surprise. No, I knew there was only a couple people that they were kind of looking into, and obviously she's one of the top candidates. It's been in and around the team a bunch and been really successful. So I think it's not a surprise. I think everyone, kind of knew she was in maybe of two people that were actually being interviewed. But I think everyone's pretty excited.
You alluded to it a little bit, but you have a nice long history with her playing Portland, took a national championship away from her.
Yeah.
Is that still a fun topic of conversation to bring up?
Definitely. She'll never forget it. I'll never let her forget it. I played with her on a couple youth teams, and then I really only beat UCLA one time, and that was in the final. And then every other time I played against them, they beat us. But they never won a championship off us, I guess. So I'll hold that one in my belt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one that matters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this job is, I think, maybe the most sought after, most people would argue, job in women's soccer. Mm-hmm. But I think it also is probably also the most difficult with the pressures that come with it. Basically, anytime you're on a world stage, I think from a world view is if it's championship or bust. Do you feel like that is kind of the way it is?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the most difficult jobs in the world, I think, with maybe a couple other national teams. I mean, we're expected to win every single time, every single game, every single tournament, every single World Cup, every single championship. We feel like we have the squad to win. So that's kind of a big expectation. And winning doesn't always, mean that you're being successful either. So I think it's an interesting position. I think it's such a big job. It's hard to just be like, oh, they're one of the best teams, so everybody wants the job. I think it's much more than that. You have to be a special kind of person to take this job.
As a player, how do you deal with that pressure from the outside? But also, is there any pressure that you guys put on yourselves because you know you have the team that's capable of doing such big things?
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of pressure. I think that, the pressure comes from us. People think that we should win, but I think ultimately we drive that, and we know that we have the team, and we're not happy if we don't win everything. And we can be really successful in a lot of ways, but if we don't win, we feel like that's the ultimate, the ultimate goal of our team. For us, I think it's a compliment to have the pressure. That means that people actually rate you and think that you're good, and think that you have a chance to win. So I welcome the pressure. I think it's a great thing. I think it keeps us hungry.
I think of late, maybe starting with the Algarve Cup, the form of the team hasn't been maybe what it's capable of. What do you think has been the reason for that?
I think that, Tom somebody was trying to do a lot of different things that was going to take a little bit of time. It was going to take an adjustment period. He was trying a lot of new players, and trying to kind of change a few things about our game that was always going to take time. And I feel like we've really kind of started to get a hold of that. And I think that Jill would continue with the style of play that Tom wanted to play, and bring her own flair into that. But I think we've just been trying a lot of new things, which is good because you have to stay ahead of the curve. It's not good enough to just kind of stay even with everybody else. You always have to be pushing the boundaries and pushing into the next phase of the game, and women's soccer is constantly changing, so we have to stay on top of that, and sometimes you have to go through a rough period to get to that good stage.
Really no time for Jill Ellis to celebrate the getting the position, as it's a big year for the club or the team going forward into Canada next year. You're going to be a big part of that, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the foot. How's the progress coming?
It's coming along good. It's just kind of slow, a lot slower than I and everyone else originally thought. I thought I would be back sooner, but turned into more of a stress kind of thing. So really, I have to just wait and be patient. So it's testing every ounce of me.
Yeah, they say patience is a virtue. Are you learning every ounce of that lesson right now?
Yeah, I've been pretty good up until this point. I'm off the crutches now, so I feel like I want to do everything, but I don't want to have this linger around for the next 6 months. So I'm fine. I feel like I'm in a good spot, and the team's playing great, and I feel like I have a long time until qualifiers. So there's never a good time to be injured, but if ever there was, I don't feel the pressure like I have to come back right away. I think everyone just wants me to be healthy.